Okay, boxing fans, this video I'm about to do now is a rant and a rave about certain things I'm seeing in boxing. I'm not seeing people do videos about it, and I've just been finishing talking with Hatman TV on Facebook, so big up Hatman, love talking with you. You talk so much sense, and sort of look forward to doing a video, an interview with you at some point on the boxing hangout. So my rant and raves to do with boxing pundits. I've done this before, and the current boxing TV shows. Okay, we've got two significant boxing shows that's on, or two big networks. We've got Sky with Ringside shows, and their boxing shows, and then we've got Box Nation, which is basically under Frank Warren. You know. But I'm going to start with the Ringside team, and I'm going to start with the Ringside show, which for me is almost getting unbearable to watch. Adam Smith, whom I don't know about his boxing career, and frankly don't care. I don't really care much for Adam Smith. I don't think he brings anything to boxing in terms of him as a host to a show. I think he should be doing something like a political show or something like that. His face is just not fit for me. And then his co-host or puppet, Johnny Nelson. Now I like Johnny Nelson. He gets a lot of flack for his boxing career. A lot of people didn't like him, but the one thing about Nelson is he kept trying and was a pretty successful world champion. Made a lot of defenses of the WBO World Championship. Would love to see him try and unify the title. It didn't happen, and a lot of you would say he probably wasn't good enough. But I like Nelson. His fights, I have to say, were boring. I think he knows himself they were boring. But I'm not knocking Nelson here, the boxer. I'm knocking Nelson here, the pundit. Watching him do interviews, him talking to guests on Ringside is absolutely cringeworthy. He's always looking across to Adam Smith, and he's always looking like this all the time. He looks petrified every single show, as if he's saying, like, almost to say, Adam, am I doing the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? And he's the boxer. He's been a former world champion. And I've never seen a former world champion look so petrified on a show. I mean, I like to see Johnny Nelson just be a little more relaxed, and when he talks, he's the most petrified person there. And he's the co-host of the show. Never understood it. You know, you've got Paul Smith, who I like. He talks a lot of sense, but, you know, I'd like to see Paul Smith smile a lot more. He looks miserable every time he's on the show. Nice to see him crack a smile. But, you know, I loved Paul Smith. Loved his pity what happened to him with George Groves, and hope he comes back into boxing soon. But yeah, I like Paul Smith. Spencer Oliver, yeah, you know, he says what he says. Jim Watt, love Jim Watt. I've said before, Jim Watt is great to listen to if a fight is being exposed. He's great to listen to if you've put a bet on your fighter that's landing the punches. He's great if you're backing a fighter. Jim Watt really isn't great to be listening to if it's your fighter that's taken a beating. For me, I've put a few bets down on my time, and the bets that I've lost, I kind of know when I'm going to be losing a bet when Watt says the famous words, his legs have gone! His legs have gone! When you hear that from Jim Watt, or you hear the words, he's hurt! He's hurt! For me, when I'm watching that on TV, I start to cringe. I start to hold onto the couch and just saying, look, just hope my fight gets back to, just get back to the corner, just get back to, just, you know, you'll recover. But unfortunately, when Jim Watt says that it's like the prophet of doom, you know your fighter's going to get knocked out that night, and you know you better not turn up to the bookies next morning. Exciting again if it's your fighter that's winning the fight. But Jim Watt, Barry McGuigan, I've got to say they're both guys, especially Jim Watt, who is unbiased in his opinion. He gets a lot of flack for, you know, not standing behind UK fighters, but he just speaks the truth. If he doesn't think a guy's up to scratch, he'll say it. Barry McGuigan at the moment, I like him as a pundit, but his situation now with Carl Frampton may be a conflict of interest, because obviously Carl Frampton's his fighter. He's on the show. Frampton's a fighter on the show, and you know, there's a conflict of interest. Whether that can carry on, I'm not so sure. Maybe they shouldn't have Baron McGuigan in the show if his fighter is fighting. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think about that. And then there's Box Nation. and our friend Steve Bunce. Steve, shout out to you. We go back a while, and we had a little conversation the other day on Twitter. I'll be there all the time tweeting you, mate. So big shout out to you for what you're doing. Do like your shows. You just let things happen as they do. If people want to take telephone calls on your show, they do. You're quite relaxed, and it's good. I like that about your show. But there's one guy I can't stand on Box Nation. It's that new guy from BBC who's come on and done sailing. If I can't be the only guy in boxing or who likes boxing, I can't stand that commentate. That guy knows nothing about boxing. I was watching the fight with on the Abraham undercard. They had a guy called Dirks. Well, I called him Dustbin Dirks because I didn't rate him. I didn't think the guy was a good fighter. I thought he was very lazy. And in one part of the fight, he looked like he was going to get stopped. This commentator was turning around and saying, oh, you know, he's in control of the fight. He's dominating the fight. He wasn't dominating the fight. In fact, you know, at points, the journeyman was, he called the guy a journeyman. But the guy had a good winning record. But he called him a journeyman. And the guy was doing well in the fight. So I don't rate Dustbin Dirks. I don't rate this guy from the sailing. And they need to get rid of him, shot him as quick as possible. Why are you getting a guy from sailing, a sailing commentator from the Olympics, to do boxing? Clearly there's other guys that could do commentating. You could use Spencer Ferron, for example. Paul Smith you could use regularly. I don't know. Enzo Macronelli. I don't know. There's other guys you could use. Other fighters you could use. But why are you using this guy? I don't know. Are Box Nation trying to save money? Come on, Frank Warren. You can do better than this. So that are my rants about boxing at the moment. And where are the rest of the boxing shows? I mean, now I've decided to do a boxing show with James Hernandez called The Boxing Hangout. And you can check it out on Twitter. We'll be doing a live feed, a live stream on Google Plus and YouTube. So we're still getting teething problems with it, you know, connection stuff, because I'm in the Caribbean and he's in London at the moment. But we're going to work with it. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to doing is getting guys like Hatman TV, Wing Chun Student, the Boxing Historian, The Wire, Big Ragu. Shout out to those guys. And there's many more others that I'm sorry I haven't got on. I've spoken or given shout outs to, and try and get them on the show and ask them their opinions, because it'd be more refreshing to hear them talk. I'm looking to run the show on a Saturday or Sunday, so be after fights. But you know, you guys let us know what you think. I've got to go. That's my phone. This is BaylorIC TV with Ingram Jones. I'm out. Oh, before I go, don't forget to subscribe. A lot of you guys are watching my show, my videos, but not subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, thanks for your support. This is Ingram Jones, BaylorIC TV. Keep your guard up. I'm out.